Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Vernon Jones here with our weekly conversation, um, our Ed Circle conversation, dealing with some lighting stuff and some other technical stuff. But we are good to go. We got our guests joining us here shortly, so we're glad that you're here with us, getting everything squared away. So we'll be right back on. Give us a couple seconds, and we'll be right back on. All right, cool, everybody. Welcome back. I'm glad to be here today. Our Faith Bridge. We've had cool people on our conversations here as we talk about education, but I don't think I've had superheroes on my conversations. This week we get to have some literal superheroes, and I'm telling you guys this because it is it has been an honor for me to even just walk the planet with these young people who are doing some big things at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Early College in Green Valley Ranch, and I take great pride in that because that's my neighborhood, that's my hood, and these young people are just amazing, along with their principal Kimberly Grayson. They are here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves when they come on. But I want to set the kind of atmosphere for the fact that my mother and I talked to my mom today about this. She graduated from Denver Public Schools, went to Denver Public Schools back in the '60s and '70s, and during the time that she was going to Denver Public Schools, she was um, dealing with busing, dealing with feeling if she was even welcome in the district because of her skin color. Right? She and my family dealt with at the time, some of the redlining stuff where black folks can only live at certain parts of the community. They were moved here and there because of that. Then busing, and she endured that. She endured being living in the Montbello community and then being bused to other places. And so she went through that, and we were talking about these young superheroes that are about to bring on, and she was just so excited because she remembers going through Denver Public Schools and wanting to see herself in the curriculum that was in front of her, wanting to see herself um, and to hear the complete story of Black, Brown, Latino, Latina, Indigenous people. And when we talked about this great accomplishment by these young superheroes, it just made her heart overjoy. And so we're excited to have them on, and we just want to just have a conversation with them. They'll tell you their story, tell you about how they got to where they are, and how they are moving this district forward. So we really appreciate them. So let me bring them on. They can introduce themselves. We'll bring them on one at a time. All these are superheroes. So as you see these superheroes come on, y'all are seeing like we hear Wakanda and all that kind of stuff, but this is really these are the queens of Wakanda here, and so I'm glad to have them here today. You guys, thank you for taking out time to join us, and so you guys can unmute yourselves and all that good stuff. You have that control, and I think we start with Alana, then go with then Alana. You tell me who goes next. You get to introduce the next queen, and just tell everybody who you are, what year you are at MLK, and let's think of something cool that other folks might want to know about you. Your favorite. No, I don't want to give too much of away, but your favorite experience when you guys went to the um, African American History Museum in DC.
I'm Alana. I'm 17. I'm a senior, and my favorite experience when we went to the museum was just being around all these people and like feeling like I was in a safe environment and learning. And I'm gonna let Donnie go.
My name is Donnie Austin. I'm 15, actually turning 16 soon, and I'm a sophomore here at DMLK. And my favorite part of the History Museum was also like Alon again to witness the museum with these amazing young students that look like me and be able to walk through the museum and see those different artifacts and stuff like that. Kalia. Hi, my name's Kalia Yazar. I'm 15 years old. I'm also a sophomore at DMLK. And again, I feel like my favorite experience was just being able to experience everything in Washington with these wonderful people and just be able to learn more about my own culture and my own history and just be able to bring it back to our school and just give people that same experience. Oh, and Ms. Grayson.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Grayson. I'm the principal of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Early College. I do want to mention that we have one more podcaster that's not able to be with us tonight, and her name is Janelle Nanga, and she's a senior. She had to go to volleyball practice tonight. My favorite experience at the museum was being able to have a very vulnerable experience with my students where we were able to come back with an action plan for not only the students at DMLK, but for the students of Denver Public Schools.
Excellent, excellent. So, Miss Grayson, I forgot. I'm talking to Miss Grayson in front of her students. I got instead of just Miss Grayson, Mrs. Grayson. So tell me now, set the stage for the background of all this. There are folks who are joining us tonight. They're thinking about, they're like, what are they talking about? They're talking about some museum. They're talking about, what museum are we talking about? What triggered all of this stuff that we're getting ready to tell these folks? I mean, some folks don't even know what historical thing just happened at Dr. Martin Luther King early college this past week. So Principal Grayson, let's set the stage and let us know how we got to where we are.
So last October 19th to be exact, of 2019, I took 17 students to the African American Museum in Washington, D.C. And we didn't know going to the museum was going to bring about this much change. I actually took the students because I had an opportunity to experience the museum, and I knew that I wanted to take some students to experience the museum and to see the amount of culture that I was able to see when I went. And when I took the students, they actually put me on the spot. And they said, Miss Grayson, you are a leader of color. You look like us. And why is it that MLK does not have a representation of Blackness in our school? And you are a Black leader. And I had to accept responsibility for that. I had to be accountable. And that brought back, that fostered a tough conversation with the students. And walking through the museum on that first floor, we were all very vulnerable. We were broken. We cried together. We developed really close-knit relationships. We grew and decided that many more needed to understand that there was a lot of history that students around the country are not learning in schools.
Right.
And we needed to make sure that we brought back that change to ensure that our culture and our history is taught within our school.
So Grayson, I'm gonna get you now. See, because of these young people, these superheroes they're gonna dominate the time here. But I want you just said something that most school leaders don't even have not set the culture for. You had students who you said were able to check you, right? So evidently you set a culture to where it's okay for them and expected of them to speak up and to advocate for themselves and to say, so So Grayson, let me, I applaud that. So tell me how is MLK fostering that? How has MLK been a safe space for these young superheroes to share their voices, to tell their queen, their their general, their leader, to say, hey, something ain't right, and you to receive it and then make an adjustment.
I'll just say that I've been in education for 24 years and I'm still learning,
Yeah,
right? And iron sharpens iron.
yeah,
And to be a great leader, you have to understand that student voice, you have to be able to listen and you have to be able to learn. And you have to understand that as a leader, you don't know everything.
yeah, yeah. Y'all, how did y'all do that, man? Y'all checked your principal. I mean, the incomparable Kimberly Grayson. I mean, we all love Miss Grayson, right? We all brag about her, and y'all was able to step to her and say, "Hey, yo, look, we not only are you a woman of color, not only a leader of color, but our school has innovation status too, meaning we could do some things." So, what's up? So, Alana, how'd y'all do that? Did y'all like play paper rock scissors to see who was gonna talk to her first, or would y'all, did y'all talk to Kyla and say, hey, you know her well, so why don't you talk to her, right? What did y'all do?
No, we were in a discussion after we had come back from the museum. So we all sat in this room in the hotel and we were talking about things that we had seen. And this was the meeting that we all broke down during, and we all everybody was crying. We were all talking to each other, being vulnerable.
So
It
we all
was
sat
really
in this room in the hotel.
um, sorry. Um, we were all sitting there vulnerable, talking to each other, crying with each other. And Zaire is one of the people that went on the trip with us, turns to Miss Grayson and she's like, Miss Grayson. And Miss Grayson just looks at her and she's like,
She had that real tone, and I love how you describe that tone, because see, that's that tone that we know in our community where somebody's like, yeah, yo, we got to get this together, right? That's what it was like? That's great. And I can imagine between the tears and the emotions that was going on. I know Grayson. I respect her. I bet she just was like, I see you. I got you. I got you. Um, what else? What else happened in that? And then that. How did you as students come back? Now you guys were thinking, okay, we need to change MLK, but y'all have come back and y'all have literally changed the landscape of Denver Public Schools, which will ultimately, I believe, change the landscape of education in our country. You superheroes have done this. And so talk to me, Miss Austin. I mean, do you taken it in yet to say, wow, you know?
It's very overwhelming. A lot of the stuff that happened, I didn't even think was going to happen because, like, when we first went to the trip, we didn't know this was going to happen. We came back thinking, oh, more students need to see this. More students need to be able to witness what we witnessed at the museum. Other students need to be able to learn their own history, learn what's really going on, not just what's in our books, the curriculum. So everything's just overwhelming that it's finally happening. And
So tell me,
yeah.
tell me, tell me what do you tell me what was I heard I was at the press conference, man. I was crying like everybody else. I think I was, back there with the crew, with the staff. Mostly, we was over there being loud every time y'all got up and did something. And of course, when Grayson got up, we was hooting and hollering. With Nikki, y'all know Miss Weddle. You can't be quiet with Miss Weddle, dude. Everything we was all hooping and hollering. So, um, help me understand, like, what changed when you guys first got back to MLK. What changed in MLK, because you guys are, you can't tell somebody to change their own house and you ain't dealt with your own house, right? You guys dealt with what was going on at your house. So what changed in the classrooms? I heard some of that at the press conference, but what can you tell other people? What teachers stepped up? Like, what teachers automatically said, yep, let me change my um, scope and sequence. Let me change the curriculum that I'm presenting. Which teachers really took a hold of this when you first got back? Khalil, you want to answer? You want to take that one?
Yeah, I was gonna say I can take that one. Actually, about a week or two after we came back from the museum, um, Miss Grayson, she had some of our history teachers actually fly out to the museum, and they stayed there. Like while we were on our trip, we visited Howard and Georgetown and multiple monuments, they actually stayed for a couple of days and only went to the museum. And they came back day after day and just started reconstructing their curriculum. Teachers like Miss Bruce, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Taylor, Miss Kelty, just all of our amazing history teachers, and they really have done a lot to make sure that they were inclusive of the changes we were making, and especially Mr. Kelly, who was already teaching a Black history and Latino history class even before we went. He was really into like making the changes we wanted to make in his classrooms like right away. And actually this summer, you were at the press conference, you might have heard me already say this, but he reached out to me, Angel, who's another person on the BSA, and Alana, because we had already been in his African American history class, to actually go over his entire curriculum and make sure that it was inclusive of all the things we wanted to change. And just all of the teachers who were on that trip, including our assistant principal, Miss Amundsen, like everybody who won that trip was extremely influential in making sure that we made the changes at home that we needed to make before we made it on district wide.
Now, let me just tell y'all did it right. Let me just say that. Let me just snap y'all up. Y'all did it right, and y'all handled this in a very powerful way, man. It was not like could you please change the curriculum? Y'all was like, hey, this gonna get done, right? And y'all figured out who y'all need to talk to. Y'all was talking to, the Deputy Superintendent Acevedo. Y'all had Superintendent Cordova. Y'all had Director Anderson and Director Bacon. Y'all had everybody, man. Y'all had janitors working on this project. Y'all had everybody in the district focused on this, man. And I was just so proud to see that. And I've been at MLK and I've seen the great work going on there. I mean, I cried during Black History Month when I was there. I cried at the Barbie doll display, right, that Grayson had put out there, man, just to see Black dolls represented, right? And so I've seen the power of this school, and I've seen the power of the young people there. And I just want to applaud you guys like 1,000 times over that this is good stuff. This is, like John Lewis said, this is that good trouble, that necessary trouble that we have to get in to transform the world that we live in. So what are you hoping? What are you hoping comes from this? Not just, I know this is not just about a curriculum change, right? But how do you want this to impact future generations? And by future generations, I mean next year's class and the year after that, right? We ain't got to be like looking 10 years down the line. I'm talking about next year. Like, what do you guys want to see come from this? And Alana, what do you want to see?
Well, I want to see a lot of things come for this, but I want to see kids learning their history and then finally realizing like who they are and what they want to be and where they came from. Like that moment for a kid is really big and it's really powerful, and I think that everybody needs that moment in their life.
Ladies, everybody jump in. Just what do you want to see?
I want to see, just like Alana, other kids be able to learn their history, but I want to see that more starting off with the DPS district, but hopefully going into other districts that other students are being able to learn their history throughout everywhere, because it's very important that every student of color and all students learn their history, because it's just very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what Alana and Diane said. I also feel like even though it's extremely important at schools like ours because it is minority dominated with mostly Hispanic and Black students, I also feel like district wide there are a lot of other schools in DPS that are majority white that aren't learning about Black history. I feel like it's important to learn. Like, for example, with what we're doing right now, we're trying to include all minority history because we have been underrepresented. And I feel like it's so important that even if like your school isn't majority Hispanic or Black, that you still learn about our history because it's empowering. And I feel like a lot of people who may be ignorant about us because they don't know our history and they don't know everything we've overcome and what we've been through. I feel like it's so important that our history is being taught everywhere so that people can understand that when we talk about police brutality and we talk about how we're systematically displaced, it's because a lot of ignorance and misconceptions can be freed up if you just had a history class if you had a Black history or Hispanic history class.
Yeah, man, y'all fired. Look, yeah, I'm a church guy, and every time y'all talk, I want to say, "Whoa, do that!" Y'all got me in my hallelujah right there. When you talk about how folks see us, right, and y'all are young people, and y'all are seeing, all of the tragedies that y'all have seen. I heard y'all talking. We talked about George Floyd. We talked about Ahmaud Arbery. We talked about Breonna Taylor, right? We talked about Elijah McClain. Y'all are living that, seeing this, and dude, what you just said It's like maybe you would stop fearing us if you actually knew about us, right? Maybe you would stop fearing us if you actually knew that we are, I love it when y'all said at the press conference, kings and queens, right? Maybe you would stop fearing us if you realized how brilliant we are and how capable we are. Man, that by itself will change the world. That by itself will change the world. Now I want to give you guys a chance to brag about y'all. Now y'all have a real podcast. Like this, what we trying to do is just, just a little simple thing. Y'all high tech. Y'all just unbelievable. Somebody tell me about this podcast that I am a big fan of. It's called the No Justice, No Peace. If you are not a follower of it, you ain't woke yet, right? You ain't really woke until you are following the No Justice, No Peace podcast. So somebody tell me about the podcast and how you guys are using that as a platform to really transform and to inspire your generation. Either one of y'all, don't y'all now y'all ain't afraid to talk. Y'all could all talk together.
I guess I can start off just everything we want to do with our podcast, all being young Black women from different backgrounds with different experiences. I feel like it's so important that people listen to our experiences and listen to our takes on things because we probably have one of the most unique perspectives that you could think of. And I feel like a lot of issues could be solved. A lot of things could change if people just listen to people like us and made the changes based off how we see them. Like, I feel like it would be one thing if Susanna Cordova said, we need more Black history. That would be one thing. That would have been done in a snap. But this coming from us, literally learning our own history, that just adds an even bigger level of importance and meaningfulness to it. And everything we're saying really hits close to home because no matter what episode we're talking about, we all kind of understand it. We all participate in what we're talking about because it hits home. And I feel like it's really important that people see our perspective and not just see it as us talking about random topics.
Right. And tell people it's not, you guys they're not reading scripts, right? I tell people this the other day, they're like, somebody said like, oh no, they're probably just, they think, oh, it's probably you adults. No, I said, no, we have not told them to say any of that. These are brilliant young people, brilliant young Black women. They don't need us to write them a script. They're telling us the script, right? They are telling us what we should be chewing on. They're telling us about, like you said, like, this is how the issue really hits home for us. Y'all don't leave us to imagine or guess. Y'all say, no, here's the real deal. Now we need y'all older folks to deal with this and get this mess, straightened up. So I really appreciate that, man. I'm telling you, it's been empowering for me. I have not missed an episode yet. I share them on my Facebook, my Twitter when they pop up, because it has just been that powerful to be able to share your voices and to hear. I've learned so much. As Miss Grayson said, if you are a real leader, you never stop learning. I don't care how long you've been in the game. You never stop learning. And when you get an opportunity to learn from other people, you pause and you learn. So I just want to thank you guys for being my teachers. I want to thank you guys for, teaching me some things and sparking some things. I got young kids like you guys, but I'm telling you, it has done even something different with my relationship with them because it has helped me say, okay, let me sit down and hear what's going on, right? I even learned how to do some TikTok dances just trying to connect with my kids, man, because of y'all. And so, you guys, I'm telling you, you guys, superheroes. In my book, man, it hit me when I was at the press conference, and you guys probably know this. Hopefully, you've learned this so far in your history journey, and Miss Grayson knows this. There were 4 little girls who lost their lives at an Alabama church, right? It was bombed by the Ku Klux Klan, right? These little girls were in Sunday school, right? And just learning about life and learning about God, and their lives were taken by hate. And I could not help but at the press conference, that's what got me overwhelmed. Was I looked up there and I was thinking about these 4 girls who lost their lives because of hate. And then I look up there and I see these 4 amazing Black queens up there embodying their spirit, right? Carrying forward just a powerful narrative that I just saw those 4 little girls just smile down from heaven and say, get them, girl, right? And I just want to thank you guys for everything that you did and everything that you're doing to make this world a better place. And look, I tell young people this all the time that I work with. There is not an age that you have to get to make a difference in the world, right? There's not an age. It is right now. right? Be you a freshman, be you a sophomore in high school, be you a sixth grader, a seventh grader. These young women are telling you right now, you can make a difference. Right now, you can raise your voice and you can change things for the world around you. So I want to give you ladies some closing thoughts, and then I'm going to wrap with Miss Grayson, give her some closing thoughts. But what do you want to say to other students who are in different public schools, maybe Aurora public schools, about themselves and about how they how they should get active in transforming the landscape? So we'll go Donnie, then Kalia, and then Alana. What do you want to say to other young people?
I definitely want to say use your voice for something you believe in, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be another person that is going to agree with you on what you think or what you believe. Your opinion is basically trying to educate more people to stick with you on that specific topic. So I think student voice is very important for people who are trying to speak. And I also believe that with our podcast, you could start something like a small podcast, or you could start a group or have a group discussion with other students about what you see or what's going on, because we learn from new people every day with our podcast. People we interview with our podcast, we're learning from them too. We're gathering information from them. So I think it's very important to be able to have these conversations with others. That way you could take in that information and educate yourself as well.
Well said.
I would just say to other young people of color that your voice always has and always will matter, because no matter where you come from, whether you come from lower class, poverty, higher privilege, lighter skin, darker skin, whatever differences you have about yourself, you have a bright perspective that anybody can learn about. Whether you think everybody around you already knows everything about you, what you have to bring to the table is important. And don't ever think that what you have to say is minuscule or it doesn't contribute anything, because you could be talking to the smartest person you know, but you could still bring something new to the table. And just use your resources to the best of your ability, especially where as young people, almost all of us have phones, almost all of us have access to media, social media. If you have an opinion, put it out there. If you have a cause that you want to bring attention to, put it out there, because this is like, we're possibly one of the only generations so far that has as much access to widespread media and attention. So use it to the best of your ability. And if you have privilege, use it to benefit other people. And if you don't, bring attention to your own causes and just don't stay silent.
Mm, mm.
So they pretty much said it, but I just want to say, you're beautiful. Everything about you is beautiful. You are worthy. You are enough. You bring things to the table, and don't ever let somebody else's perception of you be your perception of you. You need to be who you want to be and do what you want to do. Don't ever feel like you need to be someone else because of the people around you.
Mm.
And speak up for yourself. If you don't speak up for yourself, no one else will. You need to speak up for what you believe in all the time, not just sometimes.
Whoo, Kimberly Grayson. Whoa, Kimberly Grayson. I'm saying, like, wow, man, who does not want to go to work every day with these amazing scholars at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Early College in Denver Public Schools? Let me just say, in the 80249, okay? In a neighborhood where back in the day, look, I had cousins. My history goes back with DMLK. I had a cousin who was shown on that video back in the day. Yeah, that video, Miss Grayson. And to see MLK where it is today, man, I thank God for you guys. I thank God for just the amazing leadership, Kimberly Grayson, just the amazing leadership. We don't give, look, I've been where Miss Grayson lives, and Black leaders, we don't get enough applause. We don't get enough pats on the back in Denver Public Schools. We get beat up. Let's be real. And I want to say to Miss Grayson, hey, girl, you doing your thing, right? And we are proud of you and we love you. And everybody in the city knows we got Grayson's back. And so that means you can't just do anything to Grayson and you can't do anything to DMLK, because then you got to do with all of us. And we just as crazy as Nikki Weddle. So they don't want to mess with us, right? Nikki will tell you, man, we all coming. So Kimberly Grayson, I applaud you. And I just thank you. I thank you for this gift. I thank you for this gift to our community. I thank you for the gift of your leadership. I thank you for just your way, man, just your way. And I want to give you the final thoughts. And after they done got you all messed up like me, you know, I want to give you the final thoughts about Grayson. Where do we go? Not only just as DMLK, but where do we go as a district? Where do we go as a country with this transformation that's about to take place because of the work of you and these young ladies?
You know, the work shouldn't be this hard, and it truly is hard. And I think the students are seeing, as Kalia said in her speech, we shouldn't have to wait this long for this to happen, and the work shouldn't have to be this hard. I will say that come out to MLK on Thursday. They are reading the actual resolution into the board meeting at 4:30, and that's going to be exciting. And where we go from here is to continue to apply the pressure, because just because we're reading the board or the resolution, the work doesn't stop there, right? We have to continue to make sure that each of the curriculum departments within DPS are doing the audits and making sure that we are not making sure that they're doing the audits and purchasing the curriculum, that they are bringing community in to audit the auditors, to ensure that it's the right curriculum that is being brought into K-12. We don't want to impose trauma on our students. Just because we're saying that we want more curriculum of color does not mean we want the curriculum to be re-traumatizing. We also want to lift up celebrations. And so we need people to help the district to ensure that it's the right representation of our students. And then we need to be that model for the rest of the country.
Kimberly, Grayson, these amazing Alana, Donnie, and Kalia. Thank you guys all for just living, right? Let me just say that. Thank you for living. Thank you for every breath you take. And thank you that the message that you continue to send to our community. I love that, Alana, that we are enough, right? We are more than enough, right? And we can look in the mirror and we can love ourselves. We can be proud of our Blackness. We can be proud of where we come. We can be proud of where we are. And we can be so excited about where we're going. And you guys have just, done it for us. And we can't wait to see the next steps. We'll be there Thursday to see you read the resolution. But to Miss Grayson's point, we can't wait to see the work that gets accomplished in other schools. Like, y'all don't even know. I mean, there's so many young people that you guys have helped to lift their heads, right? They're lifting their heads and wearing their crowns more proudly because of the work that you all have done. So I just want to thank you 1,000 times over. Know that we are we are an ally. We are in the trenches with you. We will fight and push and do whatever's necessary for you guys, and anything you need. You call, right? Anything, not just for the podcast, but as you get to prepare for your future, you know, and you need something, you give us a call, right? Grayson got my number. I'm telling y'all need some money, y'all, whatever y'all need, right? Y'all was rocking those beautiful cultural dresses at the press conference. I said, man, those cost some money. So look, anything y'all need, Grayson knows, let us know. And we want to continue to make sure that you young ladies go and get the futures that I know. Man, I'm looking at future Supreme Court justices. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at future. This is just the future, man. I'm just very excited about what you guys have done and what you guys are doing. And thank you for not just making Blackness beautiful, but what you've done for our community, right? Y'all know this. People, when they talk about Montbello Green Valley Ranch, y'all know the things they say about us, and they and then, well, you know, now they got to talk differently. Now they're going to say some different things because of what you ladies continue to do, and what your classmates continue to do, and what your parents and godparents and grandparents, everybody continues to do. You guys are who we are as a community. So I just thank you again 1,000 times over. Grayson, love you. You know, I appreciate y'all. And again, these are the cool folks from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Early College. They are changing the world. As we said, they are the thermostat, setting the temperature of what our world is and what our world is going to be. So y'all see them, see their beauty, see their brilliance, and applaud them. So thank you guys all for being with me. And I'll talk to you guys soon. See you soon. All right. Okay. Thank you guys. So we're grateful for them, grateful for um, man, I'm just telling you, that's what this is about. That's what this is about. This is why we do the work that we do. In community, with community, when it comes to education. So grateful to be working with Representative James Coleman and Faith Bridge to ensure that great works like these happen in our community, that we support the great works that happen at our schools with school leaders and teachers and students. Man, this is it. This is what it's about. I'm grateful to Superintendent Cordovas, grateful to Deputy Superintendent Acevedo, all of the folks in the curriculum department, the equity department, everyone who has sat with these young people and have learned from them. And we are so excited about what the future looks like because these young people have set the bar. So thank you again for joining us this week on our education conversation circle. We will be bringing you more updates about these superstars, these superheroes from DMLK, because I'm telling you, this is not it. We've got some great things that are going to continue to come out of there. Some great partnerships are going to come from this so that we can get more young people exposed. We used to say at a school we led that vision through awareness, right? That the greater you expand that circle of awareness, the greater you expand vision, right? And so when these young people went to DC, their circle of awareness was expanded. And then look at that, their vision was expanded. And they come back and they have literally changed the curriculum landscape of an entire district, right? The largest school district in Colorado, 93,000 students, right, are going to learn differently because these young people had their awareness expanded and they came back with a different vision. So young ladies, young queens, superheroes, warriors from DMLK, thank you again for who you are. Thank you again for how you live. And to my friend Kimberly Grayson, thank you for leading as you do. All right. Thank you for joining us this week. And we will see you again next week here on Faith Bridge's Education Circle Conversations. Have a good evening.